Today we are going to be having a look at the new Chessnut Move. There's been a lot of excitement about this board and a lot of people have been waiting a long time. So I'm going to try and cover everything today. Now, if you're strapped for time, no worries. I'm going to leave all the chapters down below so you can skip to areas that you want to see. However, if you're happy to join me for this review the whole way through, sit back, relax and enjoy. So let's talk about what you get inside the box. When you open the box, of course, you're going to get this big chessboard. You're going to get 34 pieces because every good chess set comes with an extra queen. You're going to get 2 USB-C to USB-C cables for charging your board. The second cable will be used for your docking station so that you can charge your pieces. You'll also get a very vague instruction manual which you can look through to get some ideas of what to do with your board and how the buttons work. We also get 4 replacement bases for the pieces as well, in case any of them get broken or something happens to them. You're provided with a little screw and you can actually change the base on the bottom of the piece. So that's pretty cool as well. But what's not included is a power adapter. So if you already have one, that's fine. You should be good to go. But if you're like me and you didn't have one, or you couldn't find one that was suitable, you'll need to pick yourself up a 20 watt plus PD power adapter. Now let's get on to the pieces. The pieces look pretty good in my opinion. I like the look of the pawns, the bishops, the knights, the king and the queen. I don't really like the look of the rook, but I find every board has one piece that is not as good as the others, and for me it is the rook in this set, but everything else I'm really happy with. There was a lot of concern that a lot of people had about this base at the bottom. This base has 2 wheels in there, as well as your charging point for you to put into the dock. And the wheels obviously control the piece where it goes. Now what these pieces do not have is felt on the bottom. You will not be sliding your pieces along the board with this chess set. No, instead you actually need to pick it up and move it. And I did feel a little bit nervous the first time I took them out of the box and I put them down because I was worried about breaking the wheels, but I don't really have that fear anymore after playing with them several times. They are quite easy to put down and I don't really have that fear of damaging the product. The weight of these pieces, if you have a Chessnut Pro, the king is a little bit heavier. If you have the Chessnut Pro premium pieces, the king is a little bit lighter. So just giving you an idea of that one. In fact, we can also have a look at the size of the pieces. You can see here the king from the premium pieces and the king from the move are about the same height, but the pawn is a little bit taller than the premium pro pieces. And I'll put a comparison of all the pieces next to the Chessnut Pro, the premium pieces, and also tournament pieces for you to get a fair idea of what each one looks like. So those are the pieces. We will get into seeing them move shortly, but let's continue talking about the next item, which I'm going to talk about the charging dock. So the charging dock is very easy to use. The pieces only go one way, and you just got to put it so that the pawn falls into the hole like such. And it doesn't matter where you put the pieces either. You can just put them in and they will start charging. You just need to make sure that the position of the prongs that charge match with the hole, and it's actually quite easy to put in. Not that you're going to be turning this upside down, but they stay in quite well. Now, the next one, the big one, the board. The board is huge. It is your tournament size playing area, but of course it's got extra space on both sides for the pieces to go to. Chessnut have done a great job of bringing in a good looking design. It is a little bit taller than your Chessnut Pro and obviously a little bit wider, but overall I think it's a good design. Let's quickly take all the pieces off and have a look underneath. And let's lift it up. Now, underneath, we've got little rubber feet here. And unlike your Chessnut Pro, which had little felt on there, you could actually slide the board around to change it around. Here, because we have rubber feet, and the board is quite heavy, it's actually a lot more difficult to rotate the board. So if you're playing on a board and you find yourself getting paired on chess.com and you're sitting on the wrong side, it's going to be a lot harder to rotate that board. Suggestion would be either one, get an area where you can simply walk around, or two, get a lazy Susan so you can rotate the board around. Now, another great thing about the board is they've gone for their simple black and white design, which is really nice, but I really like how clear the coordinates are on the board. So you've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very easy to read, and that's going to be good for people who want to use the voice control function as well, who aren't quite familiar with chess notation. The Chessnut Pro, even though it's a fantastic looking board, didn't come with coordinates, and I feel people might have missed out there, where they've included the coordinates on this board here, which is going to be great. Another interesting design is they've got the buttons for the board in front of us this time, whereas the Chessnut Pro, the buttons are actually on the side of the board. I'm not really sure why they didn't put it on the side like they have with the other boards, but they have included some different features in here as well. On the board, you've got your power on button, you've got your Bluetooth button, and then we've got the mode button, which you can change your AI mode or your over the board mode. And then there's another button which should set up all the pieces. So let's put the pieces on the board now. And let's power on the board. And we'll also start filming on the screen too, so that we can see everything going on here. Device is connected. Now, I don't know why it's saying battery power 0. And it's either been saying 0 or 100 for me. I don't know what the go is there. Maybe I've got, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've got the app up to date, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Let's just go to bot. Let's go to standard game and let's press start. That will bring up the board and the pieces will instantly know they're not in the right square and they'll start moving to where they should go. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy watching it be set up. Now, I've never used a chess set that moves its own pieces before. I don't know if that was considered noisy or not. To me, it sounds kind of like those little Matchbox cards that you pull back and let them zip away. Not too noisy though. So, yes, it's got a little bit of noise to it, but I'm not really too concerned with the noise that it was making. So,
E7,
let's make a move.
E5.
Now, the app is talking to me, and I've actually got the sound on the chessboard disabled. It does have some speakers in here, but I've always had them disabled. I might try to re-enable them later, but I don't like my chessboard distracting me, and I also don't like my phone distracting me. I'm going to turn that to silent. You might still hear it on the recording, but we're just going to make some moves. So as you can see, if the pieces can't get through the area they need to get through, they'll actually separate the other pieces, move through, and then get to their destination. Let's resign this game. There we go. And we'll start a new game just so it sets up again. Sometimes the pieces do kind of butt heads and they run into each other, but they're smart enough to know that they're not going to be able to keep pushing each other forever, and they will move out of the way for each other. So the robotic piece of their movement is actually quite clever. I'm very impressed with it. Now, when moving the pieces, I did notice that you do need to move them a bit higher when you put them down, because if you keep them too low to the board, it will actually register the move, and then they will start making their move. So I went to place it here on b4, but the problem was it registered as b3, and then when I went to show you that it was on b4, it registered the move was then going to b4. So I used up 2 moves to get there, and in that time the knight took. So let me show you again. I'm going to move the queen to h5, but I'm going to move it without lifting it too far off the board and nice and slow, and it already gets stuck there. So you will need to lift it a little bit higher, and you will need to move it a little bit faster. However, you should be able to change this in the settings so that it's got a little bit of a delay, and then it should be fine. But overall, it's a really great feel playing with this board, and it is kind of nice not having to worry about your opponent's moves. This is only against an AI game. We'll need to take it online to test it out against real people soon. But let's set the board up one more time and let's test out the voice controls. E2, E4. I did not activate the microphone. E2, E4. Oh, the microphone is muted again. Maybe I bumped it. Okay, the microphone is not muted now, so it should work. E2, E4. E2, E4. And there you go. Easy. No, I think a little bit of that was my fault. But to do your voice control, you don't say knight F3 because that doesn't register. The way they've got it set up, as far as I know, is you need to say the square that you're moving from and the square you're moving to. Now, here's the problem that I have with moving the pieces by voice. I don't know how to castle, because when you castle, you've got king to g1 would automatically castle. You've got 0-0, which would be your kingside castle. e1, g1. e1, g1. And I don't know why it's not accepting the castling. 0-0. And I hope this is just a bug that I can't personally castle. So the voice control is very fun, but I just hope that I can figure out how to castle kingside. I personally will not be using the voice control that often, but I'm sure there's some people out here who would be very excited to use a hands-free option. Now we're going to get onto my favorite part of this board, and I'm going to go to online match, and I'm going to go to Lichess. And in Lichess, I am going to go to, let's go to puzzles, and we'll go to puzzle themes. And I want to practice checkmate in 4. So I load up a puzzle for checkmate in 4, and it will start setting up the board so that I can play that puzzle out. Now, the great feature about this is if you want to practice puzzles over the board, they're going to set up 100% every time. Not only that, you'll be able to play the game out and the computer will continue playing until the puzzle ends. So let's see if I can find checkmate in 4. It's white to move. Okay, I think I've got it, so let's try it out. So we got the first move correct, and black is going to move their piece to the next position, which I figured they would do. And then we bring the queen up, and that's our checkmate. Now on Lichess, I've got it set up so that when the puzzle finishes, it will go to the next one, and it will start setting up a new puzzle for me. So this is, without a doubt, my favorite feature on the Chessnut Move. I'm going to be using this a lot for practicing puzzles over the board. And like I said, Lichess has all the puzzles. It's got puzzle themes. So I'm doing checkmate in 4 right now, so I know what I'm looking for. But I could always go back. Oops. Go back to Lichess. I could always go back and I could just do random puzzles with no idea what the theme is. So this is going to be an incredible training tool for somebody who wants to get better at their over-the-board chess. I just wanted to quickly go over what I like about this board. Now, remember, I said that there are no felts on the bottom. This board is not going to be the board for you if you're somebody who is playing Blitz. Actually, before we get into it, let's try and play online. So, we've already got a game, and everything seems to be working. Now, the time these pieces take to move, I don't see myself doing too great in this game, but we're going to give it a go. We can pre-move, sometimes. You just need to make sure that you're not putting the piece down too early, because if you do put the piece down too early, it's going to push it back to its original square, thinking it's in the wrong area. I need to get in the habit of putting my pieces on the side of the board. So as you can see, oh no. Oh, let's put the king back where it was. I don't know why it's saying it's taking unusually long to connect, but that's all right. We keep playing anyway. And so you don't want to pre-move. If you pre-move, you might have your piece going backwards. Oops. Got to get used to putting the pieces on the side of the board, not off the table. Oh. So I moved that a little bit too quick. I took everything off. Let's put that back. So it feels like if I'm picking it up a little bit too early, it's taking it backwards, and then I have to wait for it to actually return before I get to move it again. And unfortunately, with 2 seconds left on the clock, I feel like by the time he makes a move, I'm going to try and move. My time's going to be up. GG to that person. Now, is this suitable for Blitz? Probably not. But it was a lot of fun. Is it suitable for a rapid game? Absolutely. 15 plus 10, I think this would be perfect. 30 minutes, obviously very good as well. Classical games, no worries there. So I feel like no matter what game you're trying to play, it's going to be good as long as you're not playing Blitz. Alright, my battery is about to die on my camera, so let me know down below. Do you like this board? Do you think it's for you? Obviously, if you're somebody who likes to slide pieces and slam pieces down, probably not ideal. But if you're somebody who likes a slow game or likes the training tools that come with a moving chess set, this might be the one. Alright? Hit subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Feel free to give me a like, and I'll see you next time.